What's up, guys? I'm Mike D'Antonio, founder and CEO of StockedUp. Welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We had an absolutely crazy ride in the market today. We gapped down slightly, and we had a crazy reversal back up, and we are shooting up in after hours right now on news of a Moderna vaccine. So we had a crazy day in the market overall. The market is up huge in after hours, and we have a lot of great information to share with you guys today. A lot of important news and a couple solid plays too. So make sure you stick around to the end of this episode, and we're going to be sharing all of the plays at the end of the video. If you guys are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to see our daily videos on your YouTube homepage every single day. Thank you so much to everyone who hits that like button and subscribes and comments. It really helps grow the YouTube channel. With that being said, Tom, what major news happened in the market today?
Yeah, this was insane, guys. In after hours, Moderna skyrocketed up over 17% in after hours, from 76 a share up all the way up to around $90 a share. An insane rise off of new news that they are going to have a vaccine candidate, that their vaccine candidate produced a robust immune system response in a larger group of people. And the study will move to a decisive clinical trial in July. And that phase 3 study that's going to start later this month is going to demonstrate their vaccine's ability to significantly reduce the risk of COVID-19 disease. And that's coming straight from Moderna, their company. That was quoted straight from them. And that's very significant to see that their stock shoots up 17%, and the S&P 500 also flew up about, they ended up having about a 30-point gap up right now. That's not too big, but the S&P is still running. I know the Dow had about a 300 300-point gap up. That's very nice to see. I really like to see the market moving with this news, but at the same time, it's also kind of weird to see, because lately the market has been reacting pretty negatively to things, and there's also been some pretty bad news coming out. And now out of nowhere, we have Moderna having a vaccine, and on their daily chart, it looks like that they were actually flying up a little bit before the news came out. So it seems like almost like somebody knew something the past couple of days as well.
Right. Right. And I was actually looking through their options chain, and I saw thousands of calls being bought. So that's also interesting to see. Someone definitely knew something on this news and definitely loaded up beforehand. But either way, this catalyst from Moderna is definitely moving the market. As you guys can see, the Dow's up over 300 points in pre-market, or after hours, I should say, right now. It really moved like the whole market across the board. You see a lot of stocks up in after hours. But what I find very interesting is, for the past 3 to 4 weeks, all we've been saying is tech stocks are exploding. Tech stocks are exploding. Apple's exploding. Microsoft is exploding. Google, Amazon, Netflix, Tesla, Square, Roku, all of these stocks are just exploding, right? And what we're seeing now is, instead of tech stocks explode, we're seeing value stocks explode, like Home Depot, like Caterpillar, like McDonald's. Stocks like that are all exploding. And you look at stocks like Apple in after hours, and yes, they are up, right? But they're not up that much. You look at stocks like Microsoft even, or Tesla. These stocks are more flat or just slightly up. So what I'm really seeing is a shift into like the hottest sector right now. I shouldn't even call it the hottest sector, but like the hottest group of stocks. It's shifting away from tech stocks and moving into value stocks. So I'm definitely going to be eyeing out stocks like Home Depot, Caterpillar, McDonald's, mainly just big Dow stocks. I'm definitely going to keep my eye on those. Even like Chevron. I know that's like an oil play, but Home Depot, McDonald's, stocks like that. Even Boeing's moving really good. Triple M is another good one. So keep an eye out for that. So also, Tom, what happened with the Trump news today?
Yeah, Trump actually signed a law slapping sanctions on China for interfering in Hong Kong. And the Trump administration has been openly critical of Beijing's national security law aimed at limiting Hong Kong's autonomy and banning literature critical of the Chinese Communist Party. And, obviously the Trump administration has been very critical, of China doing this with Hong Kong the whole time. But he also wanted to state that Hong Kong was going to be treated, as a fair country as well. Like they weren't going to give them any special permissions. But at the same time, they're still slapping more sanctions on China now. And he said that they've been having more tariffs, and there are still tariffs that are still due that are coming up on China as well. And he said they're still coming along, and it seems like we're still going after China, even though it's not in the news as much right now.
Right. So this is not huge news like the Moderna vaccine. However, it's still important because back in 2018, we saw the market really fall off of like trade war news and stuff like that. This is most likely not going to start a trade war. However, if China retaliates back at the U.S. and then the U.S. retaliates back and then back and forth with retaliations, then that can affect the market overall, but also specifically China stocks. And then the last like kind of major news is Los Angeles. Pretty much what happened with Los Angeles news today, Tom?
Yeah, pretty much. They set a new record for COVID-19 cases in their area and hospitalizations. And the thing is that conditions are just worsening for them out there. Obviously, Los Angeles has a pretty high homeless rate as well, and that could also affect their COVID transmissions. But at the same time, it seems like they have a lot of transmissions, and it's just another one of those states where obviously they're going to start shutting things down. They've talked about if it gets worse enough, they're going to start going into like a red phase, and that phase is supposedly like they're going to shut down pretty much everything, and that would be pretty big for Los Angeles if they almost shut down all their businesses. That'd be that's obviously pretty bad. And the worst thing is if other counties start following that, seeing what they do, it might set like a precedent going forward.
Yeah, so I know the mayor talked about possibly like shutting down the state again. Nothing actually happened yet, but there are like a lot of variables right now because they are testing more, which is also why we're getting more cases. But at the same time, the virus is also spreading too. So, there's a lot of variables right now. They're not actually closing anything down yet, but I know the mayor definitely was considering it, like he said, and pretty much there's just a possibility of Los Angeles shutting down again. Like I said, nothing actually happened yet, but if Los Angeles does shut down, watch for other states or major cities to follow that. And if the economies start to shut down again, that can definitely affect the market in a bad way. But as of right now, there are no like plays off of that, or there's no like it didn't even happen yet. So keep that in mind, but just something to keep your eye on for the next couple weeks. So now we're going to go over our Discord member of the day, and today's member of the day is Kreger. So Kreger is a great guy. He's been in the Discord for some time now. I've talked with him one-on-one. Overall, great guy, 100% awesome asset to the community. I'm always happy to have Kreger in the Discord chat. Always brings a lot of positivity and good news to share. So thank you, Kreger, for being a great asset to the community. And now with the momentum plays for tomorrow, and the first one is Home Depot. So Home Depot has been on a crazy uptrend recently, and it's approaching all-time highs right now. So overall, had a great green day up. Tom, what level should we be watching for Home Depot tomorrow?
Yeah, go ahead and watch for Home Depot to break 260 or $260.50 if they go ahead and break this in after hours. It looks like they're running up in after hours right now. And I've also had some great technicals drawn on Home Depot, and it looks like it bounced right out of the wedge here. This is awesome to see, or out of the triangle, I should say. And it's very nice to see this bounce, and that's a very significant sign that they may go ahead and hit their all-time high again.
Yep, so Home Depot is a great stock to watch for the upside, only if it breaks above that $260 to the $260.50 levels we listed. Next stock is McDonald's.
Yep, watch for them to go ahead and pop above $163.
Yep, again to the upside, and then we have ExxonMobil. So we have XOM.
Yep, XOM just crossed above the 1,000 SMA in after hours, which is a very bullish sign, and they continued running up to about 44.74. but I'd watch for them to break above 45.
Awesome. And then we have ROST, and this one is to the downside.
Yep, ROST, which is Ross. Watch for them to go ahead and break $79.50 to the downside.
So if it breaks below that, then we will consider puts on it. Everything else we're looking to the upside. But guys, we are only considering playing these plays only if they break the levels we list. So with Home Depot, McDonald's, and ExxonMobil, we are all watching for the upside, while with ROST, we are looking for the downside. So now with the $4 million options trade for tomorrow. So we are looking at the Boeing 185 strike call options that expire this week, July 17th. So Boeing is doing amazing in after hours right now. They closed around the 180 level. Right now they're sitting at around 183. So they're doing pretty good in after hours. The Boeing 185 strike calls expired this week, July 17th. They look pretty solid right now. Overall, the market's going up, but this play does look pretty solid. There's a total of about $4 million put into them, so looks like a solid play. What do you think about Boeing?
Yeah, I think that honestly, if the Moderna vaccine keeps the markets propped up with futures all night long, I think that we're just going to see green all across the board tomorrow, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, we're in such a kangaroo market. I would love to see that. Like I hope that happens. But I'm just saying, like, we're in such a kangaroo market. But what gives me hope about that, Tom, is like almost every time the market tries to take like a major dip, we always come back and break the level that we were struggling to break the previous time. So like every time we see a big red day in the past couple weeks, we just break through that a couple days later, like the highs of that red day. So hopefully you're right, Tom. Hopefully that we see a huge green day in the market tomorrow, and we could definitely take advantage of that. But I'm definitely going to keep my eye on Boeing. Might even day trade it tomorrow morning. So now with the questions from the previous episode. So with the first comment, we have Jay saying, dude, you guys are great. What do you think of Square? I bought shares at 131 and not sure what to do. I love the channel and the Discord. So we are looking at Square. He said he got in at 131. So right now Square is at 121. I mean, what do you think about Square, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is just one of those stocks that whenever I see a run up this large from 32 all the way up to 133, and you see it breaking this high like by a pretty large margin like it has, this is somewhere where I personally just would not buy for the long term. I know that it still has potential to keep running, but it's just one of those things where it's just bound to come down eventually and retest somewhere. And that's just one of those things I'm looking at. But if you're going in for truly for the long term, and maybe you could pick up more shares if it does end up falling, well then maybe averaging in might be a better option for you going long term. But honestly, I would probably sell out right now for a loss just in case the market falls. But at the same time, we have this good news going on with Moderna, and if all these tech stocks continue up, then it's just going to be a good play overall. But it's just one of those plays right now where it's almost like a 50-50.
If you plan on holding this for the long term, what I would do is I would hold your position and then average in, meaning buy more every time there's a major dip. Because if you're holding for the long term, it's probably going to keep going up. However, if you're looking for a short-term trade, like Tom said, it's pretty 50-50 right now. Really, anything can happen if you're looking at the short term, and you got a pretty high price too. So short term, I would cut losses. Long term, I would hold and average in every time there's a major dip. So with the next comment we have, let's see. Next comment we have, all right, we have Tita saying, sorry, one more question. I'm waiting for the best moment to enter Shopify. Any suggestions? So Shopify, SHOP. I mean, it looks like a pretty solid trade again. I mean, I like it for the long term. I think you're getting in at a decent price. I mean, I definitely would not trade this for the short term. It just kind of seems like kind of uncertain to me, but I do like it for the long term. What do you think?
Yeah, I also like it for the long term. Obviously, it's went up, a very significant amount from like $100 a share a couple of years ago, all the way up to 1,100 now. That's what would make me a little bit wary of it as of right now. But like we said, long term, I really like it. It's just one of those stocks though that whenever they rise up this much, I always just look for a very significant pullback. So like if we go back in time, kind of like right here, how we had a big rise up for a few weeks, a few months, and then we had a significant pullback. That's kind of like what I'd like to see here, and then maybe I'd enter in more around like the $850 to $800 mark.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think we're definitely in for a pullback on Shopify. Overall, like Tom said, we'll probably see a pullback kind of like we saw back in February, like you showed back on that 5-year chart. Was that this year? Let me see. Can you go back? Yeah, that
Yeah, let's go
5-year.
back.
Was that this year? Yeah, that was this year. Yep,
Yep.
right around that. So kind of expecting the same thing. With the next comment we have, all right. With the next question, we have Morris saying, "Is it true when oil goes down and gold goes up, U.S. stock markets start to drop?" Well, it's not like a one-to-one correlation. Typically, that's what happens, but it's not like one-to-one. So, like for example, if you see oil going up, if you see oil going down, that doesn't mean the stock market's going to fall too. Typically, that's what happens, but it's not always like that. So typically, yes, but not always. Like you can look at gold right now, and gold has been going up a lot recently, and the market has definitely had some decent dips. So it's not one-to-one correlated, but in general, when stocks drop, oil drops, and gold goes up, but not all the time. Awesome question though. We have AKA saying got Moderna calls, Netflix, and DPZ calls.
I hope you held them. Please tell me you held those calls today.
Right? Hopefully. We have with the next comment we have so we have operations saying people who bought 2,000 Tesla calls ending this week are absolutely nuts. Rest in peace. Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. So Tesla right now, if you go to like an options chain on Tesla, not only are not only are the calls down, but the puts are down too. So you have to be very careful with this because you can see the calls are down right now. My thinkorswim's loading up. The calls right now are down anywhere from 10% to 25%, and the puts are down anywhere from 18% to 40%. And basically, what happens is when you have a crazy volatile stock like Tesla and the implied volatility is so high, if you don't get a major move, calls and puts will fall in value. So keep that in mind, guys. I know a lot of people definitely took a beating today with these super far out of the money calls. So
Yeah, I know you were warning us about that all week too.
I know. So it's just it's hard to explain for new traders because sometimes you think like, oh, I'm gonna buy a put, and as long as the stock falls the next day, I'll make money. But that's not always the case. Sometimes you can buy a put on a stock and the stock will fall and you'll still lose money. Or sometimes you can buy a put on the stock will rise and you still make money because implied volatility increases. So the main takeaway from this is when you have a crazy stock like Tesla where the implied volatility shoots up over the course of a couple of days, honestly, don't buy options at all. Just short them. And that's just my advice. But Tom, if you can go to a daily chart, I just want to show the increase in implied volatility over a couple of days. It went from literally 80% all the way up to 138%, meaning options got super expensive. And that's why calls and puts lost today. So with that being said, Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any insight for the market tomorrow?
Yeah, my last stock is going to be Ford today. I really like Ford on my technical. They have a very nice bounce off of it. And on an intraday chart, they also look very good, hitting highs in after hours. But I really like the daily chart here. We have a nice long-term triangle that we see on it. And right now it's kind of bouncing right off of that. And I love to see that at least all the way back up to the top of the triangle or somewhere in the middle around like 680, maybe $6.50.
For sure. So yeah, definitely an amazing uptrend on Ford. The only thing to watch out for is earnings. But other than that, it looks like pretty solid trade, Tom. to ready up in after hours. So great share with that. Overall, I'm very excited for the market tomorrow. Futures are up, or Dow futures are up about 275 points right now. So looks like we're in for an exciting day in the market tomorrow. One thing to watch out for, though, is I would not be surprised if Moderna like pops even higher in pre-market tomorrow. Pretty much, guys, you just have to be careful because this stock is up so much. It went from 75 to 85 right now, hit highs of 90. Just be careful. Like, don't just like go all in on like Moderna calls tomorrow morning because they have this new news. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen vaccine stocks like this gap up huge in pre-market and then actually fall during the day because they already ran up so much in pre-market. So my only thing to say for tomorrow is watch out with Moderna because they might run up so much in pre-market and after hours where they actually fall in the middle of the day. It's just something to watch out for. There's no way to tell if it's going to do that right now, but just keep your eye out for that.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening on this.
That's what happened all the time with GILD. Remember, if you could go back to like a daily chart time, you could see GILD would literally gap up huge and then they'd fall in the middle of the day. So like if you look at like a GILD candlestick on April 17th, look at it gaps up insanely high and then falls during the day. You see that? On the 17th, if you could zoom in, that'd be awesome for everyone to see. But they closed on the 16th at $76.50. They opened the next day at $85, and they ended up running down to 81. So keep that in mind, guys. Yep, like Tom just showed you, huge gap up and then a fall the next morning at open. So with that being said, guys, if you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. Tom and I are so grateful for all of your guys' support, comments, likes, and new subscribers. Help grow the YouTube channel so much, and we are so grateful for all of your guys' support. If you guys want to trade the same exact options that Tom and I trade every single day, don't forget to hit that Stocked Up Options link in the description down below. For everyone wondering about the Robinhood Challenge, where I will be growing an account from $1,000 to $5,000. I am yet to make any major moves yet. I am going to add a channel where everyone can follow along with in the statistical modeling options trading package, pretty much. The Stocked Up Options Alerts link in the description down below is where you can follow that. The channel has not been made yet. I'm making the channel tomorrow. I have not made any major moves yet either. But if you guys want to follow along, feel free. So if you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. Other than that, thanks for watching.